is all races. This is the owners.
Yep.
This is
exclusive
everyone.
club. A very exclusive club.
Yeah.
Just think about it. You're talking about 30 owners in the world. It's just really exclusive.
And only so far 2 owners came out to say something.
Yeah.
Michael Jordan and the owner of the San Antonio Spurs.
Yeah. I think more over time that they're gonna once the dust sort of, because a lot of those guys are very private folks. So I think there's some statements going to start dripping out.
They have to.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, it seems as if you're choosing the side of Sterling.
Yeah.
But this is what I think. This is what I think the NBA should do. This is what I think. Before I get to that, do you guys believe that spectators not going to the Clippers game will have a significant impact on Donald Sterling and his empire?
I don't think so. Like I said, I think if it was a prolonged, we have to always remember. See, Clippers was a sorry team before. So economically, I mean, there were probably a handful, probably Billy Crystal and a few friends was there in the early days. So really, he's never really based his money, I think, on whether people came there to his game or not. That was way before you was born. They didn't have a big following, my friend. Believe me. I don't think, but I think over time you can sort of push him out the way, man. And some economic, like it goes back to the sponsorship for me, Anselm.
Yeah.
What about you, Harry?
I agree. I think it have to be the sponsors. That's where you have to get them at.
Yeah.
I think the fans not coming to the games might hurt the players even more. The support of the players.
Yeah.
This is very good. This is the best team the Clippers have had ever. Mm-hmm. This is the best chance they have at winning the championship.
Yeah.
And they have a big game coming up, Game 5. Yeah. So I think the fans should support the players. Look at it that way. Look at it as supporting the players, not necessarily supporting Sterling.
But I know, Anselm. You listen. Yeah. You and I disagree a lot, man. But that's the beauty of this relationship, man.
I just can't see it.
Yeah, listen.
Because to me, what you are doing is that you have to take money out of your pocket.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
You have to either get online and purchase a ticket.
That's right. That's right.
And when you purchase a ticket and you go, you're going to buy food. You're going to go to the concession stand, and you may spend another $20.
Yeah, yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
You may buy a souvenir.
Sure.
Okay? And when you do that, you are supporting Donald Sterling.
Yeah. Yeah.
So to me, if you are going to, if you don't like the things that he's doing, you can't say I don't like the things that he's doing, but I'm using the players. And think about this.
Yeah.
Whether the fans show up or not, the players have to be paid.
That's correct. Yeah. That's correct.
Okay? However, if the fans don't show up and you don't put money in Donald Sterling's pocket, he will have to go to the bank and take money off his bank account or whatever investment he has to sell in order to pay the players.
I think
that's the thing that he understands.
I think that, listen, I think you need to use every tool in the toolbox. That's part of it, I would answer. I would never just discount and say, no, don't do that. Yeah. I would say that's part of it, Hanif. Yeah. You know what I'm trying to say?
If the fans were to do that, I would understand it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it would be something that you can use. My thinking is that you can use that. But I wouldn't want to just solely rely on that as your push, Anselm. You see, I mean,
well,
because $1 billion is hard to go through, man.
I'm not going to rely on that.
Okay.
However, that's the start.
Yeah.
And what happens is that, when something starts,
the momentum. Yeah, I agree.
There are other, factors. It's like, people say that you're an accessory to a crime.
That's exactly right.
You're driving in a car, and the guy who owns the car, has weed in the car.
Right.
You don't smoke the weed. You don't know anything about the weed. But if the police pull the car over,
that's exactly right.
You get, you entangled.
Like I said, I think we need to use all mechanisms.
So after the fans decide to boycott that, all the advertisers are going to realize that, you know what?
Sure, that's exactly right.
This is bad stuff.
Yep.
Yeah. We got to stay away from Donald Sterling.
Yeah. I think I agree with that, but I really think, Hanif, that social media stuff. Obviously you know more about it than I do, but I really think that's going to be the pressure because it can reach so many. You talking about thousands more people as opposed to just say 20,000 spectators in the stadium. When that social media stuff that you like to play with, honey, when that stuff get to pushing out there, brother, you get to tweeting into Facebook and all that. Yeah. That's where that pressure comes with that sponsorship and what you said, Anselm. Yeah. It won't just affect that 20,000 that's sitting in that arena. Yeah. That's when that ball get to rolling, man.
Now let's just continue to listen to this guy and his statements. Let's continue to listen.
Is it a benefit to me? Does it matter if they're white or blue or yellow?
I guess that you don't know that. Maybe you're stupid. Maybe you don't know what people think of you. It does matter, yeah. It matters.
Do you know that I'm mixed?
No, I don't know.
You know that I'm mixed.
You told me you were going to remove those. You said, yes, I understand you. I mean, you change from day to day. Wow. So painful. Wow.
People call you and tell you that I have black people on my Instagram, and it bothers you.
Yeah, it bothers me a lot that you want to broadcast that you're associating with black people. Do you have to?
You associate with black people.
I'm not you and you're not me. You're supposed to be a delicate white or a delicate Latina girl.
I'm a mixed girl.
Okay. Well, but
and you're in love with me. And I'm black and Mexican, whether you like it or not, okay. Whether the world accepts it or not. And you're asking me to remove something that's part of me and in my bloodstream because the world thinks different of me and you're afraid of what they're going to think because of your upbringing. You want me to have hate towards black people?
I don't want you to hate. That's what people do. They turn things around. I want you to love them privately. In your whole life, every day you could be with them. Every single day of your life.
But not in public?
But why publicize it on the Instagram and why bring it to my games?
Heavy.
So, you know,
initially, after you hear that, you know, for me, it makes me question right away, how far have we really come?
Yep.
Yeah.
How far have we really come?
True. Very true. You know, that's a prolific statement. You know, how far have we really come? You know, and like there is a situation now in South Orange and Maplewood regarding the education system, that there are some inequities in the education system. And a young man wrote a piece in NewJersey.com, and it's called Bronx versus Board of Education.
Okay.
And there was also another piece in the Washington Post regarding the same gentleman, why his daughter can't take AP Calculus. And there is a online website called Maplewood Online.
Okay.
And many individuals were on that website and denigrating the young man and telling him, you know, he don't know. This is a beautiful community. This is really one of the best diverse community that we can have, and so on and so forth. However, when these people are writing these statements, it's like Donald Sterling hiding privately.
Yep.
You can make these statements privately because they have a name and it's not their real name.
Yep.
So I can write anything. Exactly. You don't know who I am.
Yep.
However,
that current underneath.
Yes. However, at times, cream always rises to the top.
That's exactly right.
You know, sometimes you put icing on a cake and you don't know what the color of the cake is underneath.
Yep, exactly.
It's only until you cut the cake, then you know what the color of the cake is.
That's exactly right. And that's what you guys are dealing with up here, man.
You know, and that's what we are dealing with up here.
Yeah.
And there's an organization called the Community Coalition on Race. And they're having this big discussion on race on May the 14th.
Okay.
You know, and many people are going to come out and talk nice and say, oh, this is a beautiful community. We are very diverse. Yeah. However, we are diverse because black people live on one side of Maplewood, and then white people live on another side of Maplewood. So we are diverse, right? We don't want to address that. When you look at the school system, AP classes and the high classes are predominantly one persuasion, and all the lower levels another persuasion. But we don't want to talk about that.
And we in the same school.
Right. But if you talk about that,
You starting trouble.
you start in trouble.
You
Yeah.
stirring up trouble.
You're angry.
Don't talk about that.
You're angry.
You're angry.
Angry
You know,
black man.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
you have Donald Sterling,
Yeah, yeah.
who's been like that. You know, this guy didn't just come like that yesterday.
No,
Yep.
no.
This wasn't yesterday.
You talking about decades.
Elgin Baylor was complaining about it 20 years ago.
There was a lawsuit.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the housing.
Yes,
Yeah.
and they, I mean, we're gonna get into that. There was so many things. I mean,
But it goes back what you said, Anselm, with when you keep quiet, man. Even like you said, even the school system up here with the AP class, when you keep quiet, this is what happened. It's going to explode.
it's
going to explode.
and that is
man. I'm
exactly
telling you.
right.
It may take a little while, but it will explode in your face.
You got to address it early.
You have to address it.
can't let it rock.
And it's going to make folks uncomfortable. But it's okay.
That's right.
It's okay.
You know, it's okay.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
slavery was very uncomfortable.
Yeah, yeah. That's exactly right, brother.
It was very uncomfortable.
Yeah, yeah.
But you know, people have to deal with
You
it.
got to deal with it, man.
You have to deal with it, and you know, you get over it. And the Holocaust was uncomfortable.
Sure.
You know,
Right
but
to this day.
up to this, yes,
Right to this day, man.
yes, but they dealt with it,
They dealt with it, and they deal with it every day.
and every day.
Every day you get it's a fight. This thing is a fight, man. You know, whether it's Sterling, Bundy out, or you guys up here with you know with the education inequity, it's a fight, man. Those classes that you talk about every night or every other night, or once a week, whatever. Those things are important, Anson. Whether some people may not support you or not, you have to deal with them, man. You have to deal with them, brother.
And that's the thing. When you start to talk about these things, but here is another quote from Martin Luther King. Never be afraid to do what's right, especially if the well-being of a person or animal is at stake. Society's punishment are small compared to the wounds we inflict on our soul when we look the other way.
That's exactly right.
And many times, listen, you know how many people look the other way regarding Donald Sterling?
Yeah.
The NBA looked the other way.
Commissioner Stern.
Commissioner Stern looked the other way.
That's exactly
Many people, I mean, Elgin Baylor and those guys were
Yep.
trying to send a message
Yeah.
a long time
Long
ago
ago. Yeah.
to the NBA. Listen,
Yeah.
this guy
It's
is
a
a
problem.
he's a plantation owner.
That's exactly right.
He has a plantation mentality.
Yep. Posing as an NBA owner.
Posing as an NBA owner.
Yep.
Yeah, posing.
Yeah.
You know, and then now we get to this point where we go from one extreme to the next extreme. Drastic measures.
Yep. Yep.
Why do we have to wait till these things
And
happen?
all that in between time we let slip away.
You know?
All that whole in between time we could have dealt with this thing many years ago. But this is what happened. You know, when you let something like that fester, it gets worse, man. You know, it really does.
I mean, and you bring in a person like Magic Johnson.
Yeah. Yeah.
Magic Johnson is a good guy.
Sure. Beloved.
Yep.
He's a
Beloved.
good guy.
Beloved.
You know,
And you gonna drag him in there and say you don't want him at your game.
you don't want that guy.
And that's what's scary, because if he feel that way about Magic Johnson,
unbelievable.
how does he feel about tenants?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, the people that need him,
That's
that
exactly.
need to live in his house.
That's
If
exactly.
he feel that way about Magic,
Yeah.
how do you feel about, you know, the people
The
that
average
need
Joe.
him? The average
Average
Joe.
Joe.
If he feel that way about Magic Johnson.
A very wealthy, comfortable person of color.
Yeah, Magic don't need him.
No, he don't need to come to the
Yeah.
Clipper game.
Get the Dodgers.
Yeah, he just listen.
don't need him.
But the thing is that he wanted to show his support for L.A. Obviously, that's why he came. I'm sure that's one of the reasons he came to the game, participating. But nevertheless, that's the way they look. It goes back what you just said, that plantation mentality. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But therefore, the owners, that's why education is so very important. Even the work you do up here, education is important. It may not affect me and your generation, but it may affect another generation, your kids, your grandkids. It's important to get those jobs and become wealthy and do something constructive. That way you can make the choices. You can push a dollar sterling and say, listen, we got X, Y, and Z on the table. We want to buy that team.
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say?
Yep.
Instead of be the beggar, be the man to write the checks.
You know, that's why I say, find him $50 million. Let the NBA take the $50 million. You know, start some schools in inner cities,
Do whatever you want.
in the urban areas,
Sure.
so we can educate some of them same underprivileged kids.
Yeah.
that-
And I think that's what they're going to do, Ansel. I think along those lines,
They may have to change the rule.
Yeah. I
For
think,
this one.
Yeah, I think they're gonna play with this one.
Yeah.
They're gonna become a little creative with this. I really do. I just think, like you said, they're buying a little time, but I think that the commission, they're gonna get a little creative with this. Because I think just the social media and the other stuff that comes with it, young folks like you.